Good, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you may be in the world. I'm Sarah Jane. This is Gift of Healing TV, and welcome to this week's program. I'm delighted that I have with me this week Maria Brooks, and Maria is going to be sharing with us about Mary Magdalene. So I'm really looking forward to this, and those of you that have been with us a while and are aware of Patricia's show, Mary Magdalene seems to be cropping up a lot for us, but that's great because as with all of these things, we know when the energies are meant to be out there, they make themselves known to us. So let me first and foremost introduce Maria to you. Maria Brooks, holy shaman, multidimensional healer, ascending master, spiritual teacher, author guiding humanity into holy consciousness. At 15 years, Jesus visited me telling me, and this is Maria talking, excuse me, that in the future, he would teach me the meaning of life. At 42 years, my light was going out. Archangel Michael came to my rescue, and together with Jesus, my training began. I was initiated into the Melchizedek priesthood. Retiring with ill health from teaching at 48 years of age gave me freedom to follow my passion once again. When my mother was dying of cancer, the 7 archangels, Jesus and Mother Mary, took over my development. I followed their lead trustingly. I am now in my 67th year. Eventually, I accepted their desire to accept myself as Mary Magdalene, and the most purposeful part of my life began. Blessed, I now live in an amazingly divine place and portal of light called Split in Croatia. So yes, folks, Maria is coming to us from Croatia, although she is English. She has come from England. But Maria, it's an absolute pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you.
Welcome to the program.
Thank you. I'm delighted to be here.
Brilliant. Please, I know we've obviously we've shared in the bio that we've got here for you a little, but share a little more about yourself. Whether I don't know whether you've got a story about your work with the angels and Jesus and Mother Mary, but something.
Well, in a way, there's quite a lot there in the bio, and I'd really like to link other parts of my story in with what I have to deliver, if that's okay with you.
Absolutely.
Okay. So we are becoming a world of storytellers. Everybody is writing their story coming from their experience. And in this process, this story is spreading. And of course, the story is the story of ascension. And of course, I have my own particular story, and it is a direct link with Mary Magdalene. And I would like to share that. It required to be brave enough to accept who I am, and in order to discover my mission and purpose. And I want to tell this story with the hope that everybody that is on this particular journey and this wavelength now, that they will have the courage to step up and honor who they are. And of course, everybody's story is extremely relevant because together we are creating the platforms for ascension. So it doesn't matter where they are, whether you're in with a religion or whether you're working spiritually. In that sense, it is relevant because of the level of faith and truth that is held in each vibration, because each platform either helps others to move up or pulls them from below. So this is my particular story. And what I've discovered is that Jesus, in fact, started this process. And when he died, he had lived a mortal life, and he ascended into heaven, and he actually created the portal for which we would eventually travel. Now, it's taken a very long time because it's this lifetime that we are actually managing to achieve what he began. And what I have discovered over these 25 years since this story consciously began is that Mary Magdalene is here to finish the process. And so I'm going to quickly try to move through 25 years and give people an idea of how I have had to evolve, which has meant it's come into the collective consciousness, and with the help of many others, it's not just me, and this process has brought us to where we are now. So it started with my birth. My mother was going to call me Susan, and when my father walked into the bedroom, he heard a voice and said, "She is to be called Maria." And so it was. We jumped to the age of 15, and two very important things happened, though of course you don't realize it at the time. One was I met a boy and I fell in love but didn't know, and it was just one look. And as this journey began and continued, I would come to the understanding that he was my twin flame. Now, the second thing that really started this was when I was asking Jesus about becoming a member of the Church of Latter-day Saints or to stay with the Methodists. And he appeared in the bedroom with the Archangel Michael, levitating and speaking telepathically in a circle of fire, and that didn't burn. And there's a long story there, but there isn't time to speak about all of that. But that was when he told me that I didn't need a church with strict rules and regulations, though they do serve a purpose for weak-minded people. And it would be better for me to stay with the Methodists, and in that way, without rules and regulations, I would come to a greater meaning of myself. And he said he would come in the future and teach me the meaning of life. So I was 42 when things changed. My light was going out. And again, at that time, I didn't know I had a light inside me. But somebody said to me, "Are you all right?" And I said, "Of course." And I said, "Why do you ask?" And they said, "Because your light is going out." And that struck me very deeply. And I actually threw the towel in. I said, "God, I've had enough of this. You know, if you can do any better, then you'd better show me." And everything started to change. With this circumstance, I was of being very unhappy. I had a breakdown, and I was recovering from this, going for walks. And I was having these profound conversations with myself, until one day I realized that actually I didn't possess this level of thinking. And was I in fact talking to somebody else? And of course, I was having conversations with God, and they kept telling me to write and to teach. And I thought, write what? Teach what? I don't know what you mean. So eventually they just said, "Will you just start some classes and we'll show you?" And so that's what I did. And very quickly in these classes, and we were just playing, you know, I had no idea where any of this was going to lead. And on one occasion, Jesus came into the room. I obviously had great capabilities that just needed developing. And on this particular occasion, Jesus came into the room. He used my body as a vehicle to be present. And everybody that saw him, my face changed and my hair grew, and they saw the presence of Jesus. And but the relevant part to the story of Mary Magdalene was that afterwards he withdrew, and then he came and sat within me, and he said, "You may ask me questions." Well, we all asked telepathically because we were a bit taken aback. But my question was I alive when you were alive? And the answer was yes. Was I in the same country? Yes. Did you know me? Yes. So I'm getting quite excited. I thought maybe I'd be, a shepherd or the innkeeper. And I said, did you know me personally? And he said, yes. And I said, who was I? And he said, you were my love and I was yours. Now, this was the first inference as to Mary Magdalene. And as you can imagine, 25 years ago, I'm kicking and screaming against all of this. And the first time that I really kind of believed that perhaps I was her in some way was when the Da Vinci Code came out. And I had been to every place and had a spiritual experience. And I thought, oh, maybe. So I began to take notice, and I began to accept, and I began to verbalize it. The thought is the deed. And so this is how the story then began to change. A turning point came when I was teaching in Middlesbrough. And now by this time, Maria had found herself to Sola Angelica, and I was quite happy with that. I thought that was the end of the story, but really it was only the beginning. And when I was teaching in Middlesbrough, in the morning, the god Pan came within me. Hairy goat's legs, man's body, horns. And I thought, whoa, what is this about, And to be honest, I can't remember what his message was at this moment in time. But in the afternoon, I'd given a meditation on the moon, and blow me if Sola Angelica didn't start to ascend and Mary Magdalene began to descend. Now, this confused me a great deal. Why was she descending when I thought the plan was to ascend? Now, of course, we are ascending at one level. We have had to go through that portal that Jesus provided, and we have met with the angelic realms and the ascended masters and on and on. And this journey now is taking us into holy consciousness. And I hope to be able to get to the end of this story to share this. Alongside this situation, my mother became ill. And that was when the angels entered the equation. And I said, if I've heard right, you'd better prove this, because people think, 25 years ago, people thought I was a nutcase, It doesn't bother me now, thank goodness. And in fact, they did. And I was guided to a small group working with angels. And right at the very beginning, they showed me the Kabbalah, and they said, you are 3 Marys, or Marias, as they say on the continent here. Do I understand? Well, no, I didn't understand the Kabbalistic symbols or any of it. And I certainly didn't understand what they were getting at with 3 Marys. Now, this is really, really important because I've only just discovered the 3rd Mary, which is very relevant to us. So they said, don't worry, we will teach you. And so it began. Then at 42 also, my twin flame came into my life again. He was part of what saved my light from going out. So there he was at 15. Here he was again for a moment in time. Actually, the joining of unconditional love activated a much deeper part of me. So there's lots of little stories going on, you know, jigsaw pieces, bringing this whole thing into line. So where was I? So
the 3 Marys.
Yes, the three Marys. So then we move on, and the picture, it starts to show me that we're actually on rewind here. We're letting go of what? Well, actually, letting go of everything that is in our understanding, because it's only consciousness. It's not reality. And this was shown to me when my mother died. And they asked me to particularly put this story into this today. When she died, I was traveling home and I was asking, where has she gone? And they said, she's gone into the glory. And I thought, well, that's an old-fashioned.
Oh,
on the sun. I mean, is it there? Okay.
Yeah, I am hearing you now.
Okay. So I was pondering what this glory was. And I was in the garden. And I looked at the trees, I looked at the flowers. I'd missed all of this because I'd not been home. And I noticed a blackbird on the roof silhouetted against the blue sky. And there were cheeky little sparrows on the wall. And what I didn't realize was I was being taken into meditation. And the next minute, everything vanished. You seem to have frozen. Are you still hearing me?
No, I'm definitely hearing you. Your picture may have frozen. So folks, providing you're still hearing us, that's the most important thing.
Okay. So in that moment, everything vanished. There was no solid form at all. The only thing that was left was vibrating molecules of beautiful energy. But the amazing thing was, I could see where the tree was because it's moving in a different way. And the exciting thing was that I could see every insect, every bird, every movement in that tree. And they said, this is the glory. And then they moved me into the universe, and I was passing planets and traveling. And I realized that the world was a tiny little thing next to everything that is out there in the universe. And they told me that things had to change because if the world continued and we blew ourselves up, it has far-reaching consequences to the universe. So this was my first experience, if you like, of understanding oneness and everything that goes with that. So alongside all of this, we reach somewhere in here, we reach 2011, and the gateway is opened, which is this passageway that is taking us so easily in reality, though it doesn't feel like that, into a new dimension. And at one of the retreats, the sun and the moon came together. Mary and Jesus came into the equation and joined as one. And the sacred geometry, 6-pointed star and the 5-pointed star, and came as one. Now, a whole body of work with my group was about the sacred geometry. Now, I was in fact working with this understanding, though I didn't know it. And I actually learnt what I was doing from what was developing in the group. And I came to the understanding that the 6-pointed star is the heart self, and the 5-pointed star is the passion of who you are. Now, what we are in fact learning to do with all the processes that are out there is to unite those two stars. And when you unite those two stars, it forms in the center a golden cube. And this is the place where Jesus worked from. Now, he was brilliant as well because he understood the mind. And so the instant manifestation was incredible. I'm still working on that. I can manifest things I'm not afraid of, but get in my own way still for fear of rejection, etc. So, so here we are with this sacred geometry, and all these things are in fact happening for the collective consciousness. Anybody working on this are reaching these points. And Mary Magdalene began to become much more involved. She began with this joining. She began to invite the group to give up their eyes, and she would give them hers. Give up hearing, and she would give up throat, and she would give. And actually, this was a process of quite a number of years, and we were giving up all sorts, time and space, skin and bones. We were actually giving up our free will of everything that we think we are, so that we can then match this 12-pointed chakra system that we've got, which is going to proportion, if you like. Now,
could you repeat that for us, please? Because we missed that. It froze.
Where did it freeze? The
12-pointed chakra system.
Yeah. So we are. So when I'm working, I can work in many light bodies and energy fields. And what I do is I can move in and out of these this greater chakra system, so that I can hold different levels of light. So, but if we have in our mind that we are this size and this shape and etc., etc., there is no room for the understanding that actually none of that exists. We can be as large as we like, and we are becoming that slowly. So another big thing then happened in Zagreb, and two sisters came to see me, and after I'd given them healing, we went straight into a ritual. Now, I never plan anything. I don't read anything. Everything that I share has come from a direct source. I just go with the flow. And on this particular day, after the healing, my body, I became the world. I changed into the earth, and the sisters one of the sisters took the role of Mary Magdalene, and the other took as herself. And all of a sudden, whoosh, Mary Magdalene descended. Now I felt her come into me, earth. And then I realized why she was descending, because Jesus taught us the prayer, "Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven." And this, with her reaching the center of the earth, we then had the pillar of the heavens, which Jesus had created, and now we had got the connection with the earth. And that's when people started to become much more interested in the earth, wanting to touch it, heal it, etc., etc. So where are we? So alongside all of this, so I still hadn't discovered who or what this third Mary meant to me. And that brings us up to the stage that we are at now. And so at many, many different levels, the masculine and the feminine are coming together. The secrets of the universe are held in lots of different places so that they cannot be interfered with. And each step has to come into play. So this twin flame of mine came 1542 and has just been this year at 66. And interestingly, those numbers add up to 5. And this is the passion. So at one level, at ground level, if you like, the masculine and the feminine has been completed. We're also, of course, the step before that is uniting the masculine and the feminine of our own thoughts and coming into a neutral place where we are balanced. So then there's this step of the twin flames. But the exciting thing for me now is that is leading to the understanding of the 3 Marys. And what I've come to understand at this high level of holy consciousness and understanding is that Mary Magdalene then takes on the role of the masculine. And the masculine is us. It is our action. We are action. And masculine means action, not male at this point. And the feminine is the higher self in the heavens, and that's being. And now the third Mary comes into the equation, and this is Mother Mary, the vibration that she is holding. So the completion of all these points is when Mary Magdalene on earth joins with the higher self, the feminine, the being, Mother Mary. And the two have already started to come together. Now, at this moment, what I don't know, and I can't say, is whether Mary Magdalene ascends, like Solar Angelica did, to make room for this energy, or whether the two have to come together on earth so that we have the masculine and the feminine joined together. And then the true capacity of the Christ consciousness will flow through us. And what is happening in essence is we are becoming a bigger vehicle, a bigger vessel of love. And of course, all the time that is taming our lower mind and our lower heart, bringing that together, changing into the higher mind and the higher heart. And this is why people are slowly moving into the universal mind and communicating with other presences now that are helping to bring in this holy consciousness. So it's actually very exciting, and the ultimate twin flame, the sacred marriage, the union of the sacred marriage, is the joining of these two holy presences, Mary Magdalene and the mother Mary, the feminine and the masculine, the action and the being. Just when this year is supposed to be a completion year, I have no idea. I just wait and see. But you know, we are on a magnificent journey. In the process of all of this, since 2012, those people who have been ready have been held in a cocoon stage, the pupa stage of the chrysalis, chrysalis stage of the developing butterfly. And when the grub is in that place, it cannot move. And eventually it has to be very, very still for the divine infusion to take place. And that's when the magic happens. And the rebirthing of that butterfly is magnificent and something that resembles something completely different. And this is the stage that we're at. I know it's very hard for people. People still feel they must do something. They want to move, you know, they're living a life. I know all the problems, but it is a time to surrender. Because this divine infusion is taking place, and we are going into a holy consciousness because the Holy Spirits are ready and waiting. The individual immortal soul and Holy Spirits are waiting to descend. And those who can achieve what they have to achieve, these divine aspects of themselves will be coming to earth. So slowly, we are bringing heaven to earth. And at some point, something will explode and we will have the golden age that is promised. But I can see the picture unfolding all the time. So I hope that brings some understanding as to why people are connecting to Mary Magdalene. It is a holy vibration. It's going to get better, and we will become more beautiful, more loving, more unconditional, step by step.
No,
No.
brilliant.
Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got some horrible feedback as well.
We've got some what?
Feedback. Maria, there was a meditation that you said, the divine self, divine I am I. Have we got time to share that? Because that would be lovely.
Yes, we'll do that.
Brilliant, thank you.
So let's just take 3 deep breaths, the quickest way to connect to your higher self always. And just to keep breathing, take your consciousness, to the star above, and just to activate that light. And with each breath, just allow that light to come in and alter your eyes, to alter your ears, to alter smell, taste, voice. Keep breathing that light in so that it begins to come into your body, filling your arms, filling your heart, filling your torso. Let that light come down your legs, pushing anything out that isn't the light. And now taking that light into the earth, into the center of the earth, the place that Mary needed to find. And then just feel that light expand, feel that love, that unconditional love, and bring it back up into your legs. Bring it back up into your heart. And allow this light to expand in front of you, behind you, to the sides, above, below. Keep breathing in that light till that light becomes you. You are a ball of light. And then take this light through your homes, through your town, through your country, across the world. Try and take this light so that it becomes the world. And then make it even bigger. You're becoming a multi-dimensional being. Everything is possible. So take this light and expand it into the universe. Expand it past the planets. Expand it past the sun. Expand and expand. And just rest in that place. And then, if you are aware, just say these words in your heart. I am love. I am peace. I am wisdom. I am truth. I am power. I am I. I am where I've been. I am where I'm going. I am at the here and now. All that I am is love, tenderness, and truth. I am that I am. I am I. I am here, Lord. Lord, I am. I am energizing in the spiritual energies of Christ, formulating thoughts of the highest levels. As my mind expands with purity of thought, my mind and my emotions quiet, and I become thee. I am gracious in mind, body, thought, and deed. I am I. I am I. I am I. So be it. It is done. Take my love and make it your own. Take my purpose and make it your own. Stand in your own power, willing to release all that is negative, all that is holding you back, all aspects that create stubbornness, and free yourselves with love and the power of the universe. That is my gift to you. You are freeing yourself. I am standing alone. I am standing alone. I stand alone. I am setting myself free. I am setting myself free. I set myself free. Forgiveness is my capacity. I am all forgiving. And I forgive. Just strengthen your soul in this way. And send this love anywhere in the world that your heart desires. Even just to yourself is perfect. And slowly thank yourself for your communication. And slowly bring yourself back. Hopefully you will feel lighter. Stay light. Just root your feet into the earth. And hopefully you are comfortable.
Thank you. Thank you for that. We've actually lost all your picture, so we can't see you at all, but we're hearing you still, Maria.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's brilliant. So for most of that, people had to watch me, but hopefully they were actually with their eyes closed, so they weren't having to watch me, but I didn't want to leave a blank screen. So,
Okay.
so
Maybe that's good. They're not curious to.
well, yes, obviously the whole idea would be, but obviously if people sort of for some reason tuned in and saw a black screen, it wouldn't help matters. But we have got Dominique says bonsoir tout le monde. So I'm assuming you're actually in France, are you, Dominique? Anyway, it sounds a little French to me. Not that my alternate languages are very good. Esme says hello everyone. Jeanette says hello beloved. Jeanette here from Angelique Ascension. I live just outside Haworth in West Yorkshire, so hello. Anthony says Maria helped me out many years ago, thanks. Sharon Wood says I am from Maria's group, worked on many aspects of Ascension, truly amazing. Innocence brought up recently. I'm wondering whether that's the same Dominique, and this time it's hello everybody. And Jeanette, that was beautiful. Thank you, Maria.
Oh,
Maria, thank you so much. I know that we've fractionally gone over time. I'm as I said before, I'm not particularly worried about that. Is there just, before we close, is there just one final thing? And I know we can't go back to you because I'm going to have a black screen, so we're just going to have to listen to you and not see you, which is such a shame. Is there any final little message where that you'd like to share with everybody?
Just to say, you know, I think the worst part of this journey is over. Having to change our consciousness into knowing that something else exists and that we are indeed on a fantastic journey. And the journey is requiring that people let go of everything that is not of love in their understanding. And it can be very, very painful, I know. Try not to take it personally. You know, you can get past this much more quickly if you keep saying, okay, all I've got to do is change my mind. And don't analyze anything. Something that is happening is that, you know, you're going through your Akashic records in sleep, and this can be quite traumatic for some people if you wake up with doom and gloom. I know a lot of people wake with doom and gloom. The best thing again is to remember that it's only a memory that you're letting go of. If you analyze it or you try to think where it's coming from, you're in trouble. So get out of bed and go and put the television on and watch something funny. Do not think about it. Just tell the body, it's all right, it's only a memory, I'm taking care of you. And if you're in that position where you can't move, you can't make anything happen, it is because you are being held in a vice almost, and you are being forced to come to yourself and to surrender. So you know, get on with it, really. That's the best, that's the best advice. Stop fighting it, because this process is happening and it's going to happen faster, whether you like it or not, whether you believe it or not. Every single person is part of that. And the good news is that the 2 dimensions are in fact in place. One is the chaos. So if you're still trying to be in control, you will be affected by it very badly. The other dimension is one of being, and, you know, instant manifestation and contentment and co-creating. The thought is the deed. And that's one thing that I just would like to say is, when we first started to meditate, that was to help us with our own thoughts, to bring our own mind into the right place. But then those who were able to, you know, here they meditate, 4 out of 5 people meditate on a daily basis. So their consciousness just went right into the heavens. And that was where people began to get God's thoughts, God's visions. And in the sharing of what they saw and what they were understanding in these meditations, the thought became the deed. And this is why this story is speeding along so much. So keep sharing your stories. It touches somebody always.
Absolutely, so true. And it is about share your story. It is listen to other people's story, and it is amazing that the lives that your story will touch. There's nothing insignificant about any one of us, and I think we all have to realize that.
Yes, we need you all. The soul, they showed me the soul of Mary Magdalene, and they showed me her soul like a pomegranate. And when they showed it me, because ultimately the goddess is going to be descending, you know, that's way into the picture. But they showed me more or less an empty pomegranate. But now, over the years, they show me, so as everybody's coming into the light, coming into the consciousness, the pomegranate soul is filling up, because each one of us is the seed, is a seed of God, if you like. So, you know, eventually everybody's got to come back into that oneness, and not one person will be left behind. They told me that. They may be living in 2 dimensions for a while, but the job won't be over till everybody is brought back into that oneness. Don't ask me how many years that would take, or lifetime. I don't like to ask those sort of questions.
And we're all given free will, aren't we? So
yeah, but the thing is, we have been giving up our free will. This is what we've been doing when we've been asked to, you know, in classes and things like this, and we're asked to, just the fact that we can expand our mind now, just the fact that we can accept that, you know, as David Bowie said, he's a superman. No, he's a mortal man with the potential to be a superman. And so we have to give up our free will to be guided, but it'll be a different kind of free will. It'll be back to a pure mind and a pure heart. So we will create from that level of purity. You know, and we're already doing it. We're already co-creating, working towards this big picture. So yeah, the story goes on.
Absolutely. Thank you so very much. Natasha, I think that is, says, Maria opened amazing new heights to me. Gratitude and love. Jeanette, so lovely sharing this very special session with you. God bless. And Dominique, I apologise. No, it's all in English. None of us speak Maria, but I certainly don't speak French. So the programme is all in English. But folks, thank you for being here with us. A big thank you to you, Maria. Next week, it's a Monday program, and we're being joined by a lady called Ada Maria. So we've got another Maria here for you, and she's going to be sharing what is a seer. So a seer as in yes. So please think about joining us on Monday next week, and keep an eye on healingtv.com. And I'm just going to pop Maria's website up there for you, especially as her pictures vanished from our screens.
Oh.
How we love technology, but it still meant we've been able to hear you. So
okay.
So thank you very much to our guest, Maria Brooks. Thank you to all of you for being here with us this evening. I hope you'll join us again. Have a wonderful rest of week, folks, and brilliant weekend. Love, peace, and light to you all. Namaste.